In this video, we are 3D printing a Tooned style Tesla Cybertruck. And these are the parts you're going to need. They're well thought out, and the original designer has done a great job. Link in the description below if you want to go give this a go yourself. It is a free download, and you have to make sure you make 4 of the axle pins, 4 of the hubcaps, and 4 of the tires. Everything else is in the right numbers. It's also easy to print. I went for a little bit of lightning infill and no supports, and the overall print was absolutely gorgeous. So this is definitely a worthwhile one to do and perfect for beginners. I think this is an absolutely gorgeous model, and it makes something really cool out of something that is pretty ugly in real life. So let's get making this Cybertruck. So here is the body, and then we've got a frame that goes underneath which will attach all the wheels. And the great thing about this is that you want that bit underneath to be black. So it's great that it's a separate piece, because then I can go spray up the other bit in grey, or of course I can even go ahead and print it in grey if I wanted to. But we're going to spray it up and make it a bit more metallic. We've also got the tires, again separated out into separate parts, and then the hubcaps, allowing us to paint all these different bits very independently, which was a joy. This was a really good one to not just print but also assemble and paint it up. And although all this looks intimidating because there's a lot of parts, it's actually pretty damn good. So here's the body, and I'm going to go ahead and paint it up. Now, what I will say is that there is a separate print for this bar of light, the same with the front as well, but they are so tiny that even on my K1, which has good adhesion, just couldn't print them off in a good fashion. And to be honest, I would rather do this, where I paint the holes they were supposed to go in. So this worked out better for me, that these bits didn't actually print off correctly, and overall I think it's a better finished product. So I would recommend, if you're not going to print them off, which I think is the best bet, go ahead and paint these independently like I'm doing here. I think this is a far better setup. But if you want to try it, you can try printing off those tiny bits, then of course you can paint them separately and then glue them in place. But yeah, let's fast forward through this, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the next section, which is our kind of bottom frame, or our undercarriage maybe. This is then going to get glued on here, and it's pretty simple. There's some nice areas to glue to get this whole thing set up without too much hassle. And then that's us done with that. I'll leave it to set, and then we'll go ahead and start attaching the wheels. Now, I will talk about the wheels. So they can rotate. They do actually have pretty good setup potentially for rotating. However, I found it to be not great. Of course, they're at an angle. It doesn't feel like they want to rotate very well. So I ended up actually just gluing them in after this. But you can technically actually have them rotating around if you want. And of course, getting it just a bit smoother is going to be doable. But for me, I decided not to. So here is our wheels and hubcaps being assembled. And then once they're glued up, you just go ahead and slot them in. You don't technically have to glue the hubcaps and tires together, because you can press them together and they do lock in quite well. But I decided to go for just a little bit of glue so I don't lose them in the future. And then we have the mud guards, which I decided I was going to stick on before the wheels to make sure I didn't accidentally get glue on the wheels or anything like that. Now, the thing about this is these mud guards are all unique. So every single one of them is for a certain part of the vehicle. So of course, figuring out which one goes where and then getting it glued down was a little bit more complicated than it should have been. I should have just had them already figured out and then positioned them on the vehicle. But I ended up sticking a few in the wrong places to begin with, and I was like, wait, this is wrong, taking it off, reapplying it. So I didn't do a very great job. But once I got it figured out, I was able to put them all on. So I would say take your time with this, make sure you get the right ones in the right place. Maybe do like one side first and make sure you have them positioned so you know which is which, and then glue them on and just take your time. Whereas I think I was rushing a little bit too much here. But anyway, let's fast forward through this, and you can see me attempting a few different times to get the right ones in the right place, but we get there and eventually assemble it. Now, these are probably the least perfect bit. I would love if somehow the designer could have made these perfectly flat, because there is that incline they sit on, which is not great, but you know, it just means the layer lines are a little bit more obvious on them. But anyway, here we go, glued up and looking great. And now we're on the home stretch. So this is pretty simple. I'll show you the first one, then we'll fast forward through the rest. So you put the axle in, and then you simply press on the wheel, and it does friction fit if you want to go for that. But like I say, I did it, I'm gluing these up later. But yeah, there they are, and they do rotate, but not perfectly. And then we are on to the windows. So I guess if you're better at doing painting, you can actually make these windows just black on the actual surface of the original print rather than adding them. But I do like adding them on, and especially the side windows, because they've been designed with the pillars in them, so you can paint them up silver, and that way it looks like it's got more detail. And as you can see, you're about to see the first one being placed on here. And yeah, that extra little detail with the pillars really looks freaking cool. And I'm very happy with it. But this is the final part right now. There is also technically another print you can do, which is actually the back. So you can cover the truck bed just like you can with the real Cybertruck. But I decided to go without it because I think it looks better overall. But there we go, that is our Tooned style Cybertruck, and this thing's amazing. Now, I didn't do a great job with the paint, but as a result, it kind of looks like an authentic Cybertruck, because they don't look perfect in real life. And overall, I'm extremely happy with how this came out. It's a beautiful little design, very cool, very much has that Tooned style level. I remember basically back in high school that I'd see these kind of drawings, and this is like one of those drawings come to life. So very happy with it. Looks amazing. The wheels look great. Very well done. So original designer here has done great. Again, link in the description below if you want to go give it a go yourself. It is a free 3D model. And the designer does have more of these. So I'm going to do a Lambo and a Porsche next. So make sure you subscribe to check that out and like the video if you enjoyed it. And I'll catch you guys next time.